The 401k is one of the most effective ways to build wealth. I hope that's not a controversial statement. I've seen a lot of people dismissing the 401k plan as a waste of time, even a scam. But today I'm going to defend the 401k. The 401k is a tax-advantaged, defined contribution retirement plan that is set up by your employer for the benefit of you, the employee. Since most employers don't offer pensions these days, the 401k has become a popular way to save for retirement while you are employed. This chart from the Congressional Research Service compares the number of Americans in defined benefit plans versus defined contribution plans. Now, defined benefit plans are also known as pensions, and you can see in this chart clearly that over time, defined benefit plans have gone down in usage while defined contribution plans have gone up even faster. Clearly, less Americans have pensions and more Americans have 401ks. A 401k lets you save money for retirement on either a pre-tax basis or a post-tax basis. You typically set a certain percentage of your income to go into the 401k each pay period. Your funds then grow inside the account tax-free, and when you take them out, there is a 10% penalty. That is unless you wait until you're age 59 and a half or older, because after that age, there is no penalty to withdraw the funds. 401ks are available through an employer, and if you have a 401k through your employer and you change jobs, it's no problem because 401k funds are portable. When you leave your employer, you can take your 401k funds with you by rolling it into an IRA or into a new 401k with a new employer. I think most people should contribute to a 401k, assuming they have access to one and a high enough income to contribute to one. What's a high enough income? Well, it's enough that you can first max out a Roth IRA. Let's break this down really quickly. There is a commonly understood order of operations of investing, a kind of best practice about where you should invest first, second, and third. The ideal order of investing for most people goes like this. First, contribute to your 401k up to the employer match. If you have one, it's basically free money, that match from your employer, and it should be thought of as part of your salary. I can tell you that your employer thinks of it this way, so if you don't get that match, you are leaving money on the table. The second thing in the order of operations is to contribute to a Roth IRA. You won't get an upfront tax break with a Roth IRA, but your money will grow tax-free and you'll be able to take it out tax-free. You will also have a lot more control over where and what you invest in. The big caveat with the Roth IRA, though, is that you have to do it. You have to actually take that extra step and contribute to the account each year and not spend the money instead. If you can't do this, well, then you're better off sticking with the 401k for a reason that I'll explain in a moment. But the Roth IRA's limit is $7,000 in 2024, and if that's all you can afford to put away for retirement this year, then you can stop there. But if you've still got more to invest, or if you want to lower your taxable income, then the common advice after maxing out the Roth IRA is to go back to the 401k. And I think that is a good idea. Now, if you have access to a health savings account, then you might consider filling that up because that's a triple tax advantaged account. But otherwise, the third thing is to go back to that 401k and max it out if you can. 401ks can come in two different flavors, either pre-tax, which is the traditional standard 401k that has always existed, or Roth 401k, where you contribute to it on an after-tax basis. What if you have the choice between contributing to a traditional or a Roth 401k? Which should you contribute to? Well, it depends on your income. The higher your income, the more benefit there is to getting the upfront tax deduction from the traditional regular 401k. Save on the income taxes up front and figure out how to manage paying the income tax later. If your income is moderate, however, and you're still growing in your career, then it might make more sense to invest in the Roth 401k now while you're paying less in income tax anyway. And with that, your money will grow inside the account tax-free, and you'll enjoy tax-free withdrawals down the road. And that's regardless of your future income or future tax rates. And if you do have access to either a Roth or a traditional 401k, maybe you could even contribute to both. Make half your contributions traditional, pre-tax, and make the other half post-tax Roth. That way you've got income tax diversification, more options of types of accounts to pull from when you're in retirement. Personally, I contributed to both a traditional 401k and a similar plan called a 457b that is available typically to government workers. I didn't have the Roth option with either account, but they still helped me save a ton on income tax each year. It was absolutely to my advantage to shrink each and every paycheck with that money funneled directly to investments and paying a lot less in income tax along the way. These accounts helped propel me toward financial independence. I seriously don't think I'd be in the solid financial position that I'm in today without those accounts. The main reason for this, and the real reason I give the 401k so much credit when it comes to building wealth, is the automation. The fact that the contributions come out of your paycheck automatically every pay period, whether you like it or not, whether you're ready or not. This is huge. The wealth building constantly runs in the background and takes you, the stupid human, out of the process. You can't decide that you have something better to spend the money on. You can't decide that the market seems a little rich and you'd better wait until it drops. With a 401k, the investment happens automatically, over and over. And this contribution that happens over and over can be invested directly into the stock market by choosing the fund in your 401k plan that most closely resembles a inexpensive total market index fund, or an S&P 500 fund, or even a target date fund with an aggressive allocation to stocks. Go with that and give it time. If you can manage to max out your 401k, which in 2024 is $23,000 per year for employee contributions, max it out, get the average market returns for the stock market for those 4 years, and boom, in 4 years, you've got $100,000 in your account just like that. And you'll have that money because of automation and because the account is somewhat restricted. You didn't spend the money, and you didn't try to time the market, and because the 401k typically is going to have a limited menu of investment options, you didn't mess around trying to pick individual stocks, options, or move money in or out of the account, try to get fancy. In fact, you're less likely to even think about it or look at it than an account that is totally in your control. The 401k is effective at building wealth precisely because it is restrictive. It's automated and it has guardrails, and it forces you to buy and hold and do as little as possible except contribute to it. So with all these great benefits, why does the 401k get a bad rap? Maybe it's for the clicks. 401k scam makes a great clickable title. Or maybe it's because they're trying to sell you something else. They want that money that you have in the 401k. Maybe they're selling gold, life insurance policies, a real estate investment course, this sort of thing. For some, maybe they legitimately feel that the 401k is not a good place to invest. Let's take a look at some of the common arguments that I've heard and debunk them one by one. The first argument is that you're trapped. You can't take money out of the 401k penalty free until age 59 and a half. Well, this is true, but I wouldn't characterize it as being trapped. First of all, as I mentioned, your 401k is portable, so if you change employers, you can roll it over to their plan. Or you can roll it over to your own IRA and invest it however you'd like. The funds in the account are yours wherever you go. Yes, there's a 10% penalty if you withdraw the money early, but there is a way to get it out without penalty. You can do Roth IRA conversions. You convert some of the money from pre-tax to post-tax while you're in a low tax bracket and intentionally pay the tax, then wait 5 years and you can pull it out tax-free. There's also the IRS rule of 55. With this rule, if you turn 55 or older during the calendar year in which you leave your job, you can begin taking distributions from your 401k without paying the early withdrawal penalty. The second argument against 401ks is that taxes will be higher when you retire. Maybe taxes will be higher when you retire, but higher for who? If you're working and contributing to a 401k, these are likely your high earning years. This is the time to defer that income. Yes, you'll have to pay taxes on it when you pull the money out, but there's always a way to reduce the tax that you pay. After all, it's called income tax. So how much tax you pay is largely dependent on the income that you receive. What if you don't need as much income when you retire? What if your spending remains low or gets low in retirement? It's not politically wise to raise taxes on low or moderate income individuals. You may not be paying as much in taxes as you think, and I would suggest you keep your income low. You can do this while you're working by contributing to accounts like 401ks. And in retirement, early or otherwise, you can strategically pull income to stay down in the lower tax brackets. If you do this, I don't think you'll pay much in taxes when you withdraw down the road. And if you do Roth IRA conversions, well, at least some of the money can end up being completely tax-free. Don't let the fear mongers scare you into thinking we're all headed for a 40-50% income tax rate environment on ordinary income. It won't happen because it would be political suicide for lawmakers to suggest or vote for such a thing. If anyone is in for higher taxes in the future, it's the ultra rich, which is way more palatable for voters. All right, the third argument is that it's better to do something else with the money today than to lock it away to use it down the road. That there are better investments available right now. Now, first of all, investing in a 401k is absolutely doing something with your money. It's putting it to work. The whole point is the growth of the money over years and decades in a tax-advantaged and tax-deferred vehicle. And when you put your money into a 401k, you will inevitably be investing in the stock market. If you have a better investment available to you than investing in the stock market, then go for it. Save in a taxable account instead and plow that money into whatever investment is going to build your wealth the fastest. I mean, some people are more into real estate investing, and there's opportunity there for those that have done their research and know what the heck they're doing. Flipping houses, buying rental properties. There's nothing wrong with this. It's not my interest or expertise, and it doesn't mean that the 401k is a bad idea. If you're like me and like most people, the stock market is the best chance we have to compound our money and outrun inflation and build wealth over the years and decades. So please don't avoid contributing to your 401k, only to put that money into actual scam investments involving life insurance, precious metals, or real estate, or God knows what. All right, the fourth argument against 401ks is that there can be egregious fees. And yes, this is really a problem. A seemingly small 1% fee can have a huge negative impact on your investment returns over years and decades of compounding. If there are outrageous fees like 1 to 2% management fees and really high 1% or more expense ratios in the funds, things like that, if you have those in your plan, that is outrageous. And I can see why you might think of the 401k as a scam in this situation. But in this case, the scam is not the 401k in general, but the specific plan and the specific plan management company. Remember that there is no pension available anymore for most American workers. So the 401k plan is the plan. That's what we've got. So to add egregious fees is highly unethical and really makes my blood boil. If your 401k options are laden with unnecessary high fees like that, you need to escape. Do what you can to change that situation. You could ask your employer or plan manager to offer low-cost options and reduce fees, or if you have to, even switch employers to have access to a better plan. It can be that important. I would absolutely ask about all the details for the employer's 401k plan before accepting any employment. And I would absolutely use egregiously high fees in a 401k plan as an excuse to switch employers. Again, it's that important. Still, depending on exactly how high the fees are, it might be worth using the 401k anyway. You can run the math of using it and the tax benefits against simply investing that money into a taxable brokerage account. With pretty much any 401k plan, there will be fees, but hopefully they're small. Typical fees you may see in a 401k plan include plan administration fees and expense ratio fees on specific funds. And if there are fees, don't let that deter you from the 401k. Don't underestimate the power of automation and paying yourself first, because if you ignore the 401k, you can still invest regularly, but first you have to receive that money in your bank account, take it on your paycheck, and then move it to a brokerage. It's possible, but are you gonna really do that? Will you actually move the money each and every month? Or will you find excuses not to do it? The 401k may not be exciting, but it is effective. If you want a surefire way to build wealth, contribute to a 401k, max it out if you can, and over time, if you decide to max out your 401k every year, you will absolutely become a 401k millionaire. And you can learn exactly how long that will take in this video right here.